Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra Podcast with Jay and Bay, the number one source for competitive Legends of Runeterra news and information. If you're looking for the best decks to play right now, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Master Runeterra or in our Discord. And if you want to take the next step in leveling up your game, check out our Runeterra team on Patreon, where we do weekly learning calls and one-on-one coaching. Now strap in and grab yourself some Boro snacks, because we are about to start Mastering Runeterra.
Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra Podcast with Jay and Bay. We have a fantastic show for you today. Before we jump into everything, though, we want to thank all of our patrons for supporting us. You help make all of this possible. Thank you so much. Shout out to Runeterra Radio, Saucy and Blevins running that podcast. They're absolutely fantastic. Go check them out on YouTube or iTunes or anywhere else that you can find a podcast. They're on all the places. And of course, if you have not done so yet, go check out masteringruneterra.com. We are dropping deck techs and news articles and opinion pieces, all kinds of awesome stuff over there every single day. So be sure you check it out. Tell your friends about it. Okay, so now with all that out of the way, let's get into it. So tomorrow is seasonals. And normally this is like the most hyped time of like the Runeterra calendar. And this one's a little bit different though. So you can kind of see it in a few ways. Normally to qualify for seasonals, the top 700 cutoff is like 150-ish LP. For this one, I believe it was around like 70.
Yeah.
Like literally
there wasn't
like
a lot
half.
of people in Masters.
Yeah. And it really goes to show. So for anyone that doesn't know, this seasonals doesn't qualify you for Worlds or anything. But I mean, the first two seasonals that happened, there was no Worlds happening anyway.
Different,
it was just
though.
like
That was like the first event, right?
And
now we got a taste of that Worlds. Now we got a taste of the big leagues. And we're just like, oh, what do you mean it doesn't qualify me for Worlds? This is so dumb. It's also just like, it's tough because like seasonals is usually like the premier event of a season.
Yes.
Right? There's only been one time when it wasn't the case. So all the prepping and stuff that goes into it goes into seasonals. But we had the premiere event of the season last month. So, like, all the prepping and building new decks and figuring out the format, that already happened. And then you got to see the best in the world play it. And now it's less exciting, right? It'd be like having the Super Bowl and then having, like, a regular season, like, the first round of playoff games, like, 3 weeks later, right? You just don't care. So, it's still exciting. You know, a lot of people are still looking forward to it. I know a lot of people are hitting their first seasonals.
I saw
very
that.
Exciting. It's just tough for us people who are like really entrenched in the competitive community to get like super excited about it. And then it's tough for a lot of the other people in the community to get really excited about it because we don't know what's going on with Runeterra at the moment because there's just like we're kind of in like the post-Worlds lull until the announcements hit and it brings it all the way back up, right? Until we know that like a new set's coming or like what all this stuff means, what's this big PvE event, this huge event pass they have coming in, until we like know more about that, it's hard to like really get excited about it. So people are kind of taking this time to play other things.
Recharging batteries. It's been so go for the last 6 months. It honestly just didn't stop. And I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I love, I want more action, more things going on, more announcements, more hype. I love all of it. But you know what? Take your breaks when you can get them.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what a lot of us
and then,
are doing right now.
And then come back,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
One thing that's kind of interesting to me, though, is almost always there would be seasonals, and there would be top 32, and then like the next week, like a patch would drop, and there would be like new cards,
We'd
new
get
season.
spoilers in that week between open and top 32. I know because it would be annoying because all I want to do is practice for top 32 and all people would ask me about was the new spoilers and I'm like, I can't. I don't have time to do both. So usually that's when that drops. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case this time.
No, because the ladder's going to reset, let's see, on the 20th, I think, of this month. And then we're not getting new cards, we were told, until November. So the earliest that could be would be like November 3rd, which would be like 2 weeks later. So we're gonna have a brand new ladder with an old format, which is not something we've like really seen before.
It's possible. When is the event coming out? There's supposed to be a mega event.
Oh, that's also November.
That's also November?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I thought, no?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's in November in the calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things of like just kind of like how things sort of lined up.
Yeah.
It's just, this sort of stuff happens. I will say though that there's still lots of people that are winning $10,000 and being a seasonal champ still really cool.
I heard
and there's there's lots of people that are out there still wanting that, still hungry, still fighting. And this is probably your best opportunity, frankly, to win one. When, a lot of the people are not taking it quite as seriously. Not that it's any less of an accomplishment. It just means that there's some opportunity there for those that want it. Also, climbing the ladder, like I just mentioned, I think that there's not going to be a lot of people try-harding on the ladder when it resets. It's going to be the same format as before. So if you wanted to jam the ladder, get a high rank or get a bunch of LP for the next seasonal cutoff, try to get that 7-2 tie break opportunity. All I'm saying is there's some opportunity there. Will be interesting to see how this next month plays out, because there's stuff going on at Riot. Whenever I talk to them, they're always like, "Oh man, yeah, we'd love to do that, but we are just slammed for the next 2 months. It is just crazy."
I believe it. They have a lot of things coming up that we know about that we don't know about, right? They got the huge balance patch coming up. Obviously, that's exciting, but
I think it's pretty exciting. A huge balance patch.
Exciting.
It's almost like a new game.
Yeah, what I mean is it's not like a new event for them.
Right.
It's already done, likely, right? They probably already have it planned out. Maybe a little bit left, but so there's that, and then there's the major PvE expansion, and they didn't even call the new Lab of Legends thing a major PvE expansion. So this is going to be probably kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I remember looking at that. I looked at it and it said major or mega or whatever, and then I looked back at the Lab of Legends announcement and it was just Lab of Legends expansion. And I was like, So yeah, that'll be a big deal, which I think is huge. The PvE side of Runeterra has been doing a very good job.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Lab of Legends was awesome.
Yeah. I never, I've said this before, I never play casual things ever, and I actually played that and enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And then they have the, mega event pass or something. I don't remember what that is. But yeah, which I think is going to line up with whatever event's going on in League, the Arcane event, I believe.
Oh, right. Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, Arcane is coming out on Netflix. This is the League of Legends anime, cartoon.
It's anime,
show. It looks awesome.
I have heard from some sources that it is really, really good.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's been in production for years, I think. It's been a long time in the making.
It's been in there for a while. Riot doesn't half-ass very many things.
No.
When they choose to go in on a project, they usually go in on a project. So very excited for that. What I'm saying is that we have a lull right now through the end of October, and then we have 3 things that are just going to go bam, 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 all at once. So for us, the people in the trenches who are the content creators and the pro players or whatever, a month is oh my god, this is so long. This is ridiculous. I gotta play this for 3 more weeks.
It's ridiculous. It's funny how spoiled you get so fast. When I look back at Magic, and I'm like, wait, you guys should be playing the exact same format the whole year and a half. I left a year ago. I'm like, what are the top decks? Oh, they're still the same.
These are the same cards. Yeah.
How?
Yep.
How did I used to do this?
Yeah.
And now
I remember I left Magic or whatever after the last thing I played was the Mythic Invitational where Uro was really, really good, but the first one where he was really, really good, right? And I wasn't even really playing before that, but that ended, and then I remember 6 months later, I look at my roommate's computer and he's still slinging Uro, and I was like, what?
Card's still busted.
This card's supposed to be banned. And then a year, and then new stuff comes out. Rogue gets banned, and Rogues is now the new thing. And then a year later, I look at his computer, boom, Rogues is still there. I'm like, That sucks, man.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it. Okay. I want to talk about this. Like we mentioned, there's a lot of people. I've been getting a lot of messages about people going through their first seasonals and like what to do, what to expect. We take it for granted because we've played in it, we've watched it, we know how it works. There's a lot of people that don't know even just like how the mechanics of it work. So I just want to touch on some things really quickly in case you are going into your first seasonals. Questions I've seen, things like so first off, the times that you play your rounds are like slotted in, like it starts at a certain time. Scheduled. Each round is scheduled. It's not like a play at your own pace kind of thing.
Not like Gauntlet.
No, not like Gauntlet. You do have to be there on time. You have to register. You have to check in.
Let's go through the schedule really quick. So I believe 9 a.m. is a check-in. 9 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
And then your round will start 55 minutes after. Right? And that's the first round. And then every round, I think, is like an hour after. If you look in the client, it tells you exactly the time frames.
Which is very nice.
It's very nice because then I can leave for 20 minutes and go eat food or lie down and cry about my missed player. I don't know, whatever I do. And so, yeah, you're going to check in. You're going to submit your 3 decks just like you would in Gauntlet. Wait for round 1. Then you go into round 1 and you play or whatever. There's going to be a break about in the middle of the day. You do see your opponent's deck list. This is another thing that's different from Gauntlet. When you enter in, there's like the pick ban phase, but right before that, there's like a prep phase for like, it was like 5 minutes or something like that.
You have to look at each other's deck list. Yeah,
you could look. It's the same look as the ban phase, but if you click the deck, it'll pop up the deck list. I highly recommend you screenshot those deck lists.
Yes.
So like the first thing I do is I look at it, I think about it for 30 seconds, and then I screenshot the deck list while I'm kind of like mulling over my ban decision. And then I have them ready to go. And then I think more about what I'm going to ban, right? Figure out my ban, and then I'll look over the deck list a couple more times. I'm going to have them on my other monitor when I play because I constantly reference it. But I like to kind of have it in my head as well, if that makes sense. Like it's so much easier for me to like kind of keep track of the game and what my opponent has and doesn't have if I like know, like in my head what they have in their deck rather than like having to check all the time. I'll still check, but like knowing that my opponent only has 1 thermogenic beam or is 1 Captain Farron shorter than my list is pretty helpful to me.
Totally. There's lots of things like that are like, I don't know, just important. It's like, oh, like they're packing 3 aloof travelers. Mm-hmm. Like I bet that's coming really down right before.
Keep that in mind, yeah.
Right before whatever the important card in my deck is. So like if I can keep something else in hand or like set it up in a way that I don't get punished by aloof travelers, like those, like there's stuff like that you should be paying attention to. Any deviations from kind of like standard deck lists, I'm looking for stuff like that.
Yeah. Because you played against normal Scion or whatever, but if your opponent has decimates and things, then you got to go. Ooh. Keep that in mind.
Different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely screenshot your opponent's decks, reference them, have them ready. One thing that I really want to start doing that I stopped doing is like I don't use like a deck tracker myself to see what cards are like left in my deck. I know you do sometimes. So whenever I'm watching you play, I used to. I don't know why I stopped. Whenever I'm watching you play, I'm like, that's really handy. It's so nice to see your outs. You're like, oh, I still got 2 of these left in my deck. Like, okay, or like, oh, I got none of these left in my deck. Or yeah, that's quite nice. I highly recommend trying that. Like Mobilytics is probably the one to go to.
It's like the go-to one, yeah. It works. Yeah. Does its job. Doesn't have any fancy bells and whistles, which I appreciate because I don't really want them.
Other tips for your first seasons. You do have to go 8-1 to make top 32.
There are 9 rounds, obviously.
If 9 rounds, you finish in the top like 30 or 40, you can maybe go 7-2. You'll get a tiebreaker. I assume that if you finish that high, you probably know this already though. So yeah, 8-1 or 9-0 is the goal. Other things to keep in mind, it's a slog. It is an absolute marathon. It is so long. Make sure that you feed your body, have a good breakfast,
get up, walk around in between rounds. Like,
yeah, keep the blood flowing.
Grind. We
both like to work out before going into seasonals. Really helps you kind of like wake up, like kind of get rid of the cobwebs, get you feeling good, motivated. Understand that there's like a mental game within a game, because you're under this like extreme amount of anxiety and nervousness. There's adrenaline pumping through your veins. your brain will actively try to get you out of that situation because it's uncomfortable. Your brain wants you to be on the couch, chilling, watching TV, nice and comfy, and you are in a very uncomfortable state, and your brain will start like doing whatever it can to get you out of there. Like self-sabotage happens. People start thinking about losing, and then if you do lose, it's real easy for your mind to kind of just take control, just be like, yeah, you deserve to be here, or like it's you're done, it's over. Like even after you only have one loss, you're still in the tournament. So the mental game is very important. It's important to stay focused, try to stay in a good mood. If you do take a loss, like shake it off, keep going. There's nothing you can do about it now, so you might as well just go, like, get ready for your next match, do everything you need to do, make sure you're getting your food, you're hydrating, remind yourself that you're having a good time, that you're like here to battle against the best
because you like fun. The game. Yeah.
I feel like that's like the biggest help for me. Anytime I'm like I lose, I start to get tilted, I'll just go sit down and like ask myself, are you having fun? Because like sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm not having fun. Yeah. Like, I get out of here. Let's go do something else.
I've left tournaments at like 3-0 because I just wasn't having fun. It's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Just go.
Yep, I have too. But most of the time though, the answer is yes. Yeah. Most of the time I'm like, you know what? I love, like, win or lose, I love competing against the best in the world. And that's a lot of fun and exciting. And like, yeah, I like doing this. Like, well, let's get back in there and fucking do it then. It's like, okay, I'm immediately feeling good again. Yep. So keep it just, it's good to like kind of check in with yourself, especially if you take a loss. But even if you start winning, I've also played in tournaments where I'm like 4-0, 5-0, I'm crushing, and they get a little too fucking overconfident, and I make a mistake that costs me. I had that happen actually in the seasonals that I totally should have top 32'd. I was like 5-0, I want to say, or 4-0. And I was going into game 3 and I was like, fucking got this. And I just like played one spell too fast and I got punished and I lost. And I was like, fuck, I just lost track of it. So that's another good thing. Don't get overconfident. If you're kicking butt, just keep like resetting yourself, getting that focus, staying nice and calm, playing your A game. Very, very important because it's a goddamn marathon. It just goes on for forever. Yeah. And you have to keep in that zone, keep in that healthy mind space for like 10 hours or something. Like, it's a long time. It's a lot to ask. It's don't take it for granted.
I try to take each round by each round. That's obviously something that's been said forever. Just got to get the next one. Just focus on the next one, right? Like, but that's
good advice if you can. It's good advice if you can do it.
If you can do it, yeah. And then I get asked a lot about like anxiety and stuff for ladder, and more specifically here, seasonals and tournaments. I'm playing in my first tournament. I'm really like worried, nervous, anxious. Like, what can I do about that? And honestly, I think there's a couple things to really focus on. One, winning and losing should not be like your main focus. Your main focus should be playing as best as you can. And I know for a fact, 80% of you that just heard that, it went or in one ear and out the other. You're like, yeah, I've heard it before. But like, really, like you're in the band phase, and I want you to like stop and not like focus on winning. I want you to think about like, okay, win or lose, I'm just going to play as good as I possibly can, which is why it's so helpful for me to play decks that I enjoy, because then I'm focused on playing the deck that I enjoy and just playing it really well. Like, I love playing Zoe Lee. So when I play Zoe Lee, I just have a great time. And I'm not focused on like just winning or just losing, right? And I think that like it takes the stress off you.
Totally.
Right? Losing's gonna happen. It's a card game. It sucks, but it's gonna happen. Get over it. Just let it happen. Just play as good as you possibly can. And then when the losses come, they don't hurt as much. And then you're not worried about losing nearly as much. There's gonna be other tournaments. And like I said, it's a card game. You can only influence so much. So just focus on influencing what you can and play to the best of your ability. The second thing is that like kind of an imposter syndrome thing. You're in seasonals. Yes. It's maybe your first seasonals, and you're up in the big leagues. You're going to play against seasonal champs. You're going to play against people who top 8'd worlds, right? Maybe. And it's tough to like picture yourself winning in those scenarios, right? But if you're here and you're in seasonals, then you deserve to be in seasonals, right? You qualified like everybody else, right? You're all on equal footing here. So just shake it off, right? Get in there and play your best.
Yeah. Sometimes easier said than done.
Oh, it's way easier said than done. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's also just one of those experience things where, I know lots of people that qualified for seasonals or have qualified for big tournaments. They just didn't go, just didn't want to play. It's just jump in, maybe you get smashed, maybe you don't, whatever. You'll learn and you jump in again. Okay, let's talk about some more specifics though. Okay. So, I know you're on crazy lineup.
Yeah.
If you imagine you had to click your decks in right now. Right now, you had to select your 3 decks. What are they?
They're probably Lee Sin, Tom Soraka, and Field of Rush.
Field of Rush, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know. I love that deck, but, this format, sometimes you're just
I think it's going to get banned a bunch.
Oh, really? No way, man. People hate Lee Sin Zoe. People hate Lee Sin Zoe so much. People ban that deck even if it's not good. It's nah. I don't want to play against that.
Which is so sad for me. Just let me play it, please.
Right?
I just wanted decks with life gain. And then I was considering, so I would have loved to play Zoe Lee, Tom Raka, and then Fizz Nami, the Targon variation, just with Fizz, because I can't play Zoe Lee, Zoe Nami.
Yeah, obviously. Why
didn't you? Regions. Bilgewater Targon.
No, sorry. Why didn't you play Fizz Nami?
Bilgewater Targon.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a P and Z Nami?
Yeah, I don't want to play that. That's bad.
Oh.
And then I can play the Bandle City Nami, but it doesn't do what I want it to do. I just want to gain life and be very scary to the ping decks and stuff, and be able to go toe to toe with Scion. And so I teched the Field of Rush deck with a couple flash freezes and things like that to deal with Scion, right? And yeah, so I just have decks that Ping City. It struggles a bit against Tom Raka. Because they're cast Make It Rain, and you're thanks, man. Well, good looking out.
I mean, no person with a head on their shoulders should be casting Make It Rain.
Sure,
against
also attacking with a bunch of your 2/2s. And
your dirtily guys that can't get through with no evasion. All right.
Yeah, so with the Broadback Protector, you're just kind of in there, and I just wanted to play these decks.
Yep.
And I put so much weight in that. If there's decks I want to play, I just play them. The exception being Shellfolk. I really, really, really want to play Shellfolk, but I just can't win with it now. Now that the meta's gotten more burn heavy and less board centric, I can't win with it. Because there's no healing, and I'll stabilize at 11 and then die. They just cast a couple decimates, some fervor, some pokey sticks, and impact triggers or whatever, and I'm out of there.
Yeah, what's wrong with those people? Do they have no respect? Let's get to my lineup next. So I'm playing TF Fizz, Gangplank. TF Gangplank, Fizz Poppy.
You're playing
Ziggs, Scion Draven,
TF
Burn.
Gangplank, and Scion Draven.
Oh yeah,
you got the champion wrong so many times.
Whatever. you see how much preparation I put into seasons.
Yeah, you are attacking and casting burn spells. That's what you were doing.
Yeah, not particularly well either. I wanted to play Lee Sin or Zoe Nami, but I couldn't really find a lineup that they went into that I actually liked. And they also just have they have some good matchups, and they have some really bad matchups also. So I'm making life easy on myself. I think realistically, the only shot I have at going 8-1 or 9-0 is playing one of these decks and just getting there, just burning people's faces.
You haven't put in the prep this season.
I have not put in the reps. I've been a little bit busy building up. MasteringRuneterra.com. Go check it out. So it is what it is. Also, I don't love this format. I don't know if it's because it's overtuned, like you're saying, because of Worlds. Mm-hmm. But it's just I don't know. A lot of the decks are pretty linear. A lot of it's pretty burn. I don't dislike it. I'm not oh, I hate this format. When people are there's some busted deck, whatever, Fizz TF, and everyone's just oh, this sucks, or Aphelios, and they hate it or whatever. I don't feel that way. I don't hate it. I'm just gonna I guess I'm just over it. I'm just I want more variation in the top decks. I'm kind of just tired of what we got.
The top decks are not things I enjoy playing.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
I like to play spells matter, very spell heavy, life gain late game, or combo decks, and there are none of that in the format. I can't play any of that. The closest thing is Shellfolk, but because of everyone's turn to burn, and it has 0 healing like in the regions, because it has like 0 healing in the regions, there's nothing you can do about it. And so yeah, I want Targon to come back. I'm tired of my opponent casting 6 telescopes off 1 telescope in a mayor or something. Like,
that seems fair.
That's gotta go, man. That's so dumb.
I think they're gonna change that.
Yeah,
I imagine we'll see some Targon get a little bit of love, like
Please,
maybe the
dear
Fangus
God.
goes back to a 3-2 or something. Yeah. I mean, you know what though? I feel like Burn got held down and Aggro got held down for so long. I'm kind of happy that I had it stay.
I mean,
Like,
you say this,
it was
but
a
like they
joke for
boasted the
forever.
highest win rate on ladder forever.
What has?
The aggro, discard, burn, it always has the highest win rate. Pirates and discard aggro always have like 56 plus win rate.
I mean, not when
ladder.
Targon was like reigning supreme.
No, they still do. Like,
And also, the ladder's a joke though. That's not a good indicator.
I don't know about a joke. But yeah, you're right. Like,
bring pirates to any seasonals before
you
like
shouldn't do that.
this
usually.
one, or I don't know any of them.
But like, but what I mean is like, if you wanted to play, like, you play these decks on ladder and you'd be very successful. And for most people, that's it. That's as high as it goes.
I
right?
mean, I think that's debatable.
Also,
like, they weren't good.
One seasonal.
They weren't good.
Aggro.
He's built different. That doesn't count. Okay. Anyways, let's get back to the topic on hand. I've seen some interesting lineups out there. People like Darkness is coming back. People are doing stuff with Thralls.
People are looking for Scion answers.
Yeah, is that why these are coming back? Because I don't understand. Everyone's saying Darkness beats Scion, but then the stats say otherwise. Like,
Yeah,
I don't really.
I mean, Darkness has 2 checks against Scion, like a checklist, right? Check 1, can you get your Darkness up to 3 damage? If no, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
And then check 2 is, do you have the answer for the Scion turn? If no, you're gonna lose. And I don't really like that.
Yeah.
Because you could just not draw Catalyzer or Vagar, and then the deck is horrible.
Yeah, hitting stuff for 2, not so hot with those Darknesses.
Hitting stuff for 2, you got a bunch of Vile Feast, which is good card and everything, but like,
I miss casting Vile Feast. I love Vile Feast. It's one of my favorite cards.
Then all of a sudden you play a Catalyzer and hit 1 time, and all of a sudden your deck is nuts. Like, you kill everything. And I don't really like that very much. So I'm staying away from Darkness. I do expect to see it represented quite a bit at seasonals.
I expect to see a decent amount of Darkness. I expect to see a lot of Lee Sin Zoe also.
I expect to see
like
a lot of Lee Sin. Yeah.
I like that. I feel like that's power spiking back up. And I think it's a little bit of a trap. Not like a big trap like it has been in some seasons. I think it's like a little bit. I think some of the matchups people are thinking that's going to be good into, it's like going to struggle a bit with.
Like what?
Like maybe like Ziggs Poppy, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that matchup is quite as good as some people think it is.
I'm some people. I think it's quite good.
Yeah, I know.
It's the worst of the like.
Who do you think I'm
burn decks
talking about?
against you though? For you, it's the worst of the burn decks. So like, if you're bringing Scion, Pink City, Ziggs Poppy, your lineup, and I'm bringing Lee Sin, I'm likely banning Ziggs Poppy because the other 2 are such good matchups for me.
Well, I'm just going to ban Lee Sin Zoe. What up now?
We're both sad. That is likely what's going to happen, though. I expect Lee to get banned in probably over half of my matches.
Yeah. But like Scion gets banned in my lineup. It's like almost like auto.
Anytime anyone shows up with Poppy, they're like, I guess I'll ban Scion.
Boop. Ban that. Do you think we're going to see... I think we're going to see a decent amount of spice in this seasonals. I think people are going to bring some wild lineups. Like just all kinds of mismatch. Like what if you went like Lee Sin, Zoe, Scion, and then just like pick a random third, like just literal any deck as a third deck.
You can.
And just have like good stuff.
Is that spicy though? That's
I know that's spicy.
2 of the
you don't think
decks we expect to be most popular just put together.
But like I'm saying in the lineups though, like you don't expect them. Like imagine it's like those 2 and like Thralls or something.
That'd
or
be
those
spicy.
2.
Yeah.
There's like all even like Ziggs Poppy on the end. like, or just like a poppy deck, maybe a tree deck. Just all
I expect
kinds
to
of.
see a lot of tree.
You do.
I do.
I've seen tree doing quite well.
Yeah, it's pretty good into Scion. It's the best poppy deck into Scion for sure. And then it's also pretty good into Lee. But Lee decks generally come to the table with the expectation of banning your poppy deck. So,
right.
Unless you have like Darkness poppy deck or something, then maybe they have to ban Darkness. But yeah.
What about like? Do you start to see like a lot of like super rogue strategies?
No, there aren't any.
There's just not that much out there. Hey.
Yeah. The deck the one thing words are so difficult. One problem I have with the format is that it's just it's super dominated by like a couple things. It's super dominated by Poppy, Draven / Scion, right? Pick whichever one you want to talk about. Or let's just say Lost Soul strategies.
I was going to say Scion, Lost Soul strategies, yeah.
Yeah, Poppy and Lost Soul strategies. And that's basically it. There are other decks that exist that are good, like Lee Sin and stuff, but they exist because they're so good against 1 to 2 of the decks in this like thing we're talking about.
Yeah.
And like everything else is just not as good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the top like 5 decks, 3 of them are Poppy decks? Like,
yeah. If you like clump the Poppy decks together and you clump the Lost Soul decks together, then it's like the format's not so big.
Yeah, the pie chart of decks looks like this. Whoop, boop, and then here's everything else. Like, yeah, it's so hopefully like maybe we'll see some super rogue stuff. I'm not gonna say it doesn't exist, because obviously it does. That's like how rogue things work. They always exist. But I'm not sure it can show up and really perform in this like such hostile environment.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, you know what though? Like at our tournaments that we just ran last weekend, the top 2, I think both of them, the top 2 lineups were pretty standard, like the stuff that you would imagine. And then after that, like 6th through 8th was like a smorgasbord of all just everything else.
Yeah.
And so I mean, like 6 out of 8 lineups being like pretty. Like, we're talking Thralls, we're talking Fearsomes, we're talking Lee Sin, all kinds of stuff. The whole gambit, Field of Rush. And so, I mean, those were 100 to 150 person tournaments, and that was like 6th through 8th. So not only is it like making it far into the tournament, but that's a lot. That's a huge. It's like 80% of the. I can't do math. That's a large percentage of the. Like the winning decks, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think part of that is, let's say you bring the 2 pillars in your lineup. You have a Poppy deck and a Scion deck. Like that's only 2 decks. No matter like which way you shake it, you can only have 1 Poppy deck, 1 Scion deck. So you're like forced to innovate a bit. But I still think we're gonna see Poppy and Scion in just absolute numbers. In seasonal, and people who aren't prepared are just gonna lose to it.
Gonna have a bad time.
I expect Plunder to come back in kind of a big way.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen a lot of action Sivir. A lot of action Sivir. People using that one of my tech of jamming some Radiant Guardians into it.
Yeah.
I am not sold on if anyone has ever played Radiant Guardian into a burn deck. And like, how many times have you played Radiant Guardian and be like, got him, and then like, died. Nope,
yeah,
not even close.
2 Radiant Guardians in the open rounds of Worlds, I believe.
Yeah,
or it was top 32 or top 16. I can't remember. I played it in one of them.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying don't think you're like, these 2 Radiant Guardians win in my deck. Now I win.
I mean, against Ping City, that's probably closer to the reality. But against also, I hate that name.
Better against Ping City. I love it. You know why? Because it reminds me of Brian Ortega, who what is his nickname? He's something city. I can't remember. He lives in Cali. He lives in LA. It's something to do with that. Oh,
we don't call California Cali here. It's like a dead giveaway. Someone's not from California.
All right. Well, fuck. Whatever. Try. Hold on. This is gonna annoy me. Brian Ortega. Anyway, dude's super cool, and his nickname is T City.
T City.
Okay.
Why?
So I don't know. Actually, I should
Okay.
look
All
that
right,
up.
but it reminds me of that.
It reminds me of that. That's why I like it. I don't know where it comes from though. I wonder, like, it's just because like just a lot of pinging. So it's like you're in Ping
Yeah,
City.
it's just pings, and I don't know. Ping City.
It's
does
better
have,
than
like, a ring
Slow
to it.
Burn. We got some
God,
bad
the
naming.
worst name ever. Yeah. But like I was saying, Radiant Guardian very good against like the Ping City deck. Struggles more against Poppy Ziggs because they have like you slam Radiant Guardian on turn 5, you're on 7, and they just kill you. It's like, okay, decimate, attack, fervor the one you're blocking. So like this was a very common play pattern with like the Dragons deck. Is that you had Solari Sunforge or whatever, and you played on 4, and you would have to bank 2 mana at some point in the game so that you could go Solari Sunforger plus single combat. Yes. And if you could do that, you would win the game. And if you couldn't, you would often lose the game. Like if they just had Fervor, you would just lose on the spot. Yeah, so that's...
Speaking of which, what the hell happened to Solari Sunforger? That card was like, oh my god, it's so busted and unfair, and now it like sees no play.
Well, it doesn't like eat anything anymore. It like loses combat to a lot of things.
Did it get smaller? It's a 5/4 still, isn't it?
No, it's still a 5/4, but people attack with Poppy now. Also, Targon's bad. I don't know if anyone clued you in on this.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think it can't be that
it's
bad.
Pretty bad. Like Zoe Lee doesn't want it, and bad. Zoe Nami doesn't want it. That's the Targon decks, basically.
Yeah.
I still think that Dragons was a horrible deck that was propped up because it just crushed Thresh Nasus. It was 50-50 into Draven Ezreal, and it just bodied Thresh Nasus. And that was like it. It just lost everything else.
I mean, not when I was playing Thresh Nasus, but I can see how a lesser player. Bring my baby back. Buff Nasus, you cowards.
No.
Just give him Fearsome back at least. Like, come on.
No.
Wait, was that the... What else did they take from him?
It was the deck. It wasn't just Nasus, right? Like they took they took
did
Nasus,
lots of
Fearsome,
stuff.
and then there was the Curse Keeper nerf.
I thought there was another nerf on him, and then also, I mean,
4/2 now.
Merciless Hunter, yeah.
There was something else I can't remember what it is. So
there was a bunch of stuff.
What I want to see though, post seasonals is obviously I want Targon buffs. I really want to see some nerfs. I'm not usually like clamoring for nerfs. I'm like, oh yeah, nerf.
Lost Soul needs a nerf for sure.
Lost Soul needs a nerf.
The telescopes and stuff need to stop looping.
They need to stop looping. Because it's a looping telescope.
And they're still good. Like those cards will still be good.
Scion might just be a little too good. Like the card Scion might just be a little too good.
It levels. It's like auto leveled, which is
auto
weird.
levels, and like
You should have to try a little bit.
If your deck can't deal with Scion, you just lose to Scion. Like if your deck cannot beat the actual card Scion, you just lose to it. Which is why the deck has like a 60% win rate on ladder right now. It's insane.
Maybe though, if Lost Soul wasn't as good as it is at gumming up the ground and stuff, you could actually kill them.
How many games have you played from like the Scion side or the not Scion side where like you're like, okay, I'm at 16, I did a very good job this game, and then you play Scion and the game is over.
Yeah.
You just lose. You're like, oh, that sucks. That happens to me all the time on both sides. So I think Scion might be a little too good, and then like Poppy's insane.
Yeah, Poppy's
nuts.
I mean, you could touch these cards and they'll still be good and playable.
Yeah,
and not be like Poppy could be like, I don't know, a 3/3 or something.
Yeah, or a 4/2.
4/2 maybe.
I'm just tired of getting beat by Poppy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make her not buff the units she's not attacking with, which is not like that big of a deal.
That's not really. I mean, it would be a nerf, right? But I don't think that's really.
A lot of times you're just attacking with everything anyway.
You
it doesn't really matter.
Swing. Yeah.
It just always seems so unfair to me that I'm like, oh, I didn't want to attack with these units, but they're gonna get this buff too. Yeah, that's cool.
That's actually that happened to me the first time I attacked with Poppy without units. Like was like a week into the format, and I was like heavy testing for Worlds, and I was like,
oh, it doesn't level her. What the
It doesn't.
heck?
Well, it doesn't level her, but I didn't think it would pump everyone else, and so I just like couldn't swing with my other guys because I needed them to like block, and I attacked and pumped my team still, and I was like, "What? This is so good."
Card's absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she needs to get touched a little bit. I was, I don't know if we want to delve into this too much, but I was thinking like, I think the way they should do it, like in League, they do like little touches constantly, right? How often do they do?
That's what we were told we were gonna get.
Oh, really?
This game over. Well, not every other week, right? But like constant balance patches was like one of the big sellers of the game, and it's something that every time anything gets too good, and we go, "Hey guys, Zeralia is a little too good," and they're like, "Nah, it's fine," and we go, "Hey guys, it's us." A month later, Zeralia is a little too good, and they're like, "You know what? Maybe you're right." And then they nerf it, and then they go, "Sorry guys, I'm sorry you had to deal with that for 3 months. Next time, we'll bring balance patches out a lot more often." Go Bears.
Okay, to be fair,
and then it takes longer the next time.
Yes, yeah, that's what's happened in the past. Agreed. To be fair, though, apparently they have been working on a system that's like going to be their new way of doing things moving forward. That's supposed to address this.
Okay, that'd be really
quicker. Ruben on his stream apparently said that like he's seen the work that they're doing and stuff, and like it's impressive and awesome, and like it's going to be coming out soon.
Yeah, cool. I trust Ruben. So.
But like, yeah, exactly. Like every 2 weeks, if they were just like, even if it was like 1 or 2 cards, they're like, oop, like just
or every 2 weeks they just like, because 1 or 2 cards totally enough, and then every now and then, maybe every other week or whatever, they say we don't really think anything needs to be changed, but we're keeping an eye on this and this. That's enough for me, right?
Yeah.
If you tell me, hey, we're watching this though, we're watching this. Maybe next, in 2 weeks we'll keep an eye on it. It's a little too good, so we'll
this
watch
is
it.
the thing that I feel like you can always like, even if it's like inconsequential, like even if you're like, I don't know, pick some card that's terrible and just like
Lux,
boop it up.
Yeah, just boop it up a bit.
Boop it one little bit. Still doesn't see play. Okay, like a couple months down the road, you can visit back to that card. Boop it up a little bit more.
And that's exactly what they do in League. They just kind of touch the numbers up a little bit.
Yeah, that would be so good because that brings people coming back. Because like, I mean, look at like Make It Rain or what's the other one that gives +3, +0, or
Twin
+0, +3? Twin Disciplines. Like you make those, all of a sudden, one less mana, and it's like woof, game changer.
These are real cards now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so like you see that's like
all of a sudden is like kind of a house where it like didn't exist before.
Oh, when it turned into a 1/2. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
stuff like that's a really big deal. Not gonna completely derail this, but something along those lines. No, I am gonna completely derail this. Actually,
do it. Go.
Flesh and Blood. I've been playing quite a bit of it recently. You know this. Most people who've been on my stream know this. I enjoy the game quite a bit. They have they have a really interesting system called the Living Legend system. And what this is that
I don't know what this is.
Each hero, right? So like you showed Chain, one of the heroes. He's actually, I think, at the top of the Living Legends list. For wins in organized play tournaments, they get points on the Living Legends board or whatever, right? Higher up, like, so a seasonals win for Scion would give Scion 50 Living Legends points, but a Worlds win for Scion would give Scion 150 Living Legends points, right? Now, nothing rotates in Flesh and Blood at all, but once a hero gets to 1,000 points in the Living Legends system, they rotate out. Isn't that such an interesting system?
That is a very interesting system. Mm-hmm. I don't know how I feel about that though. When you have to pay for the cards.
Well, you can watch the.
It's like
the heroes
950 points. Sell.
But they can't like blitz through overnight. Like the hero you have in your hand was in like 40% of top 8s for like months. And
yeah.
He's not even halfway there, right?
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting. There are merits and problems with the system, but I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the beautiful things about a digital card game is you don't have to deal with that because you can just keep tweaking.
You just tweak things.
And one of the things
this guy.
is like look at imagine the format was set kind of like stable, and like look at Twin Disciplines going from like 3 to 2. All of a sudden, that made a bunch of decks viable, which now you push those in the metagame. The whole thing shifts around, and like you basically have a whole new thing, like a whole new metagame. It's new and exciting just by changing like one card that changes some decks, that changes the meta. And so this is why the little touches. Yeah, it's because otherwise it gets kind of boring, frankly.
But I do get that like it's a little different in League because like if you come back to Runeterra after 3 weeks off, and numbers are different, that really screwed, like mana costs are different, power and toughness are different, the amount of damage spells do it different. That's kind of like, whoa. But in League of Legends, you don't even like see it, right? You just do like a little bit more damage.
I feel like seeing it's even easier though. You just, when you log in, have it pop up, you're like, hey, mofo, now this costs this much. You're like, okay. Like they do in Arena. Arena does that. Like all these cards you paid for, they're banned now. Like, oh crap.
Suck it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see that. Obviously.
That's where the game's gotta go. It's gotta lean into the digital. This is the advantage that it has because it has a disadvantage in that it's not collectible and it's not tradable. Lots of people, they play these games because they just want all the goddamn cards. Magic players just want their things. Flesh and Blood people just want the things. They want full collections. They want cool foily ones. They want big binders. They want to buy and sell, make money. We don't got that. It's not happening. That's not an option. But that's okay. We don't want that in our game. Our game's like free to play, like about as free to play as you can get, which is fantastic. And it has the ability to not have these freaking formats where you're like, what are you playing? Oh, it's still that deck. Of course it is. For 3 freaking months. No, we're like new stuff. New. Go. It's fast and exciting. And I mean, you can see it, right? There's a reason no one's playing Runeterra right now because we've been playing the same format for a while. It's super linear and some stuff's too powerful, like we just talked about. And so it's like, it's boring. It's done. Like, it's not exciting. But if they had, at the last balance patch, if they had changed a couple of things, like literally 2 cards, it can be practically a new format. Yep. Right? Like with just little things. Oh, Fiora has 3 toughness again. Boop! Like that could be a huge game changer. Like
Fangs is a 3-2 and Lost Soul is a 3-3.
Lost Soul came down. Yeah. Exactly. And all of a sudden, like, boom, new format. Everyone's excited. And so, yeah, I really hope that that's the direction they go to. They have to see it at this point, right?
Yeah, I imagine they know. Yeah.
We keep going through the same freaking loop
that is the life
here.
cycle of card games, is the ups and the downs and the new set releases in this. But like we should be doing this.
For anyone that can't see Bay's hand,
I'm waving. It's one was a very sharp wave.
It should be like this. Bump, bump. But okay, so I'm going up with my hand. You can't see. It should just be like every 2 weeks, like, oh my god, that's cool and exciting. Let's try that. Every 2 weeks,
Let's try
that's
out
cool.
Lux. She just got buffed. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then by the time you try stuff out and you figure out if it's good or not, they're like, oh, there's a little bit more of a touch here. And that's why you just do the little ones because like big huge changes are like,
let's change this.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm with you.
Even if it's stuff that still sucks, it's still at least new. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Like we don't know what goes into making that happen, right? Like the game has bugs and stuff. So I'm pretty sure if you're just messing with the code constantly and how things interact with other things,
it just breaks.
You're probably doing a lot of it just says no. Flashes across the screen. So they could be that they are trying to figure that out, right? That because there's a lot of QA testing that's going to go, like a lot of like, there's the people that make the decisions on what to change, and then there's the people that actually go in and code it and make the changes, and then there's the people that have to like test that out and make sure that stuff's actually working before they deploy it. So like we're asking quite a bit. Like League could do it because it's League. We're asking quite a bit for Runeterra to do it, but I think that's where they're going to get to.
I would like to see
pretty
that.
Confident.
I would like to see it. We do have to start wrapping up here.
Yes,
but that's our rant on balance patches for the week. Our regularly scheduled rant. Yeah, if you guys want to watch seasonals, I will be streaming. Are you going to be streaming?
I'm going to be streaming. Hells yeah.
Yep, we're both going to be streaming. Check us out on Twitch. I'm on Twitch. You going to be on Twitch?
I'm going to be Twitch also, yeah.
Twitch.
We might also have it on masteringruneterra.com. Probably not, though, because I'm just going over my schedule in my head. I don't have time to do that stuff right now.
But go on that site anyway.
Go on that website.
I wrote an article.
Awesome articles
about how to play Nami Zoe.
Yeah, you did. Cool. And how you're playing Nami Zoe wrong.
That's actually the title of the article. Yeah, why you play Nami Zoe wrong, I think is the title of the article.
Yeah, you weren't wrong.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's it. Only think any like last thoughts or anything for anyone going seasonals. If you're freaking out about one thing we didn't cover, if you're freaking out about your lists and stuff, play what you know. Definitely don't pick something up last second and just be like, oh, this freaking Scion Draven deck is the best, and I've never played it before. Because that'll probably be a bad time. Play what you know. It's your life's gonna be a lot easier. You're probably gonna do a lot more winning. It's hard to win with decks you haven't really put time into. That's why I never win.
Yep, I totally agree. All
right. That's it for us. Good luck, everyone, at seasonals. Come jump in our Discord also if you ever want to talk to us or other people that are playing seasonals. We have fantastic crew in there. Love all you guys over the Discord. Kisses. All right, that's it for us.
I was asked to put in that we ask people who are listening on iTunes and stuff to leave a review.
That's right. If you are listening on iTunes and stuff, aka Spotify, please leave us a review. It apparently does really good things for us and helps us grow. We've had 2 on there for forever, and I do check it every now and then just to see if anyone has added another one, but no one has. Apparently it's good for us. I never wanted to ask because I felt not good about it. But you know what? We're asking. iTunes, do it. Hook us up. All right, we're out of here.
See you guys later.
Peace.